Alright guys, so we decided to pick up the Glock Gen5. I really didn't want to, but we picked one up just because we have a lot of customers asking if they fit our holsters. And I don't know anyone that has one because most people have deductive reasoning not to buy one. But we acquired one anyway. Just so that we can confirm with customers what holsters will fit. If they notate that they have a Gen5 in their order, we can now verify that there's nothing wrong or any potential issues with holsters. So anyway, let's talk about the Gen5. It comes from the factory with 3 Gen5 magazines. They have orange followers. The base pads now have this little rounded area to them. Not really sure why. I haven't figured out what purpose this little rounded section serves yet. Maybe it holds the gun up better for photos. I'm not quite sure. Anyway, they are 15 round mags, just like the normal Glock 19. They still come with plastic Glock sights that everyone is familiar with. That is kind of a bummer. I wish they would start providing the Glock tritium night sights that they provide on the blue labels, but I'm sure these probably cost, not more than 40 cents a piece to make versus tritium metal sights. It has a different coating than the standard Glock. It has like a DLC coating on it. It has a DLC coated barrel. This is their new barrel. We haven't shot this yet. We're going to shoot this probably on Sunday or Monday. Got to get to the range. It's been a little tough. It has the Gen 4 inspired frame, interchangeable back straps. It's got a ambidextrous slide stop. It is the same sheet metal side stop that you're used to. It looks identical on one side. They just carried over the bend operation to another side. That's all they did there. It still removes the same way that you take apart your Glock. Same takedown. Nothing's really changed on that side. It still has the Gen 4 style safety. And then they removed the finger grooves and carried on this checkering to the front. Because they removed the finger grooves, it does make folks with larger hands like myself now not have as much interference with that undercut. My hands do not fit on a Glock undercut, so I usually have to cut them, but because this doesn't have finger grooves, it's not forcing my finger up into there. So that's an improvement. I know most of you have seen this style of grip on the Gen 1 and Gen 2 Glocks, so it seems like they're going back to their roots. They've also added this chamfered front end of the slide, which is identical to the Glock 26 front end. So it's that FBI cut chamfered front for, I guess, reholstering easier. One thing about that I don't like, the frame doesn't match the slide. So you won't really be able to see it in the video, but this is a normal Glock frame. And it's got the radius here is completely different from the radius on the gun itself. And so you can hook onto it really easily. So they didn't match the frame to the slide, which is kind of disappointing. It's basically just your standard Glock footprint. The overall height of this, I believe, is like 2 thou taller, which isn't a lot, so it doesn't really affect holster fitment. It does drive the top of the slide a little bit into Kydex holsters, but that will break in probably no problem. I did already modify this gun. This is going to be like a safe queen anyway, but I just couldn't get over some of the things that I did not like about this magwell. So it's got a flared magwell. This is really cool. I do like this part of the gun. But the problem is when you get this, you can see on the inside here, there's like a lip. I have dremeled down the lip and then sanded it. That lip hooks in, and it's a millimeter here and a millimeter here. That's 2 millimeters of hook coming inward. So I smoothed those out with the Dremel. There was also burrs and sharp edges on the inside of this chamfer, this cutout here, and there was also burrs on the inside and the outside of the grip. So I basically chamfered all of these surfaces in here so that there's no more hang-ups. So I chamfered the inside here, here, all the way around, and then cleaned up the front. I also didn't like how the front was sharp, and so when I was playing with the gun without the mag in, it was kind of digging into my finger. So from what I've been told, and Tim over at Military Arms Channel has talked about this, Glock decided to put a cutout in the front of the mag, in the front of the grip, so that you can strip your mag out. Now, if anyone's ever stripped a mag, you're not going to stick your fingers into the front like here and pull it out like that. Everyone strips the way they feed a mag, which would be on the sides, but since they have the flared mag well, you can't strip from the sides. So what they did was they added that cutout that we just showed you on the inside of the rear, cut out here and a cutout there, and that's so you can shove your finger, your thumb, up inside the rear of the mag, and then your index on this side of the mag, and you can strip this way if you need to strip the mag out. So you can fit a finger up in here, and again, this is sharp, so don't go jabbing your fingers up in there. Chamfer it first or smooth it out with 1000 grit. But they did that so you can strip the mags. But no one strips this way. You strip the way you feed your mags. You index, comes on up, and your thumb's here, and your index finger's on this side. But to keep the structural integrity of their mag well and getting hung up on a cutout on the mag well, I can see why they did it this way. It's just something that, I don't know, I wouldn't do personally, but I understand why they added that function and feature. So a buddy of mine, Bryce, he actually measured out this gap. He's blaw556 on Instagram, and the nice thing is he brought out some calipers and he cleaned up this face in here really nice, kind of widened it a little bit more on his Gen 5, and then he compared it to the Agency Arms EDC magwell, and this is actually bigger opening than the EDC magwell, or I think either bigger or the same. So that's pretty cool. That is a pretty cool feature. They added this flared magwell, which does kind of suck into your hand a little nicer, but it's a Glock 19. At the end of the day, if you've got big hands, your hands are still bigger than the grip. So like my hands end up being an extended magwell anyway. So this is the Glock Gen 5. I mean, I'm happy they finally added an ambidextrous slide stop. The coating feels nice. They did come out with a front cocking serration gun earlier this year. I wish they just did it on the Gen 5 as well. So there's some features across their platforms that they should have just all dropped into here. But I guess for Glock, it's a good improvement for Glock. I just hope they carry on the ambidextrous route and start making their guns a little bit more user-friendly for OEM. Because like, at the end of the day, a Glock is like a Honda Civic. There's 2 billion parts out there for them, and everyone makes something aftermarket for it, and it gives people an opportunity to customize their firearm, which is cool. But I'm a really big fan and proponent of guns that come out of the box without needing any sort of aftermarket enhancements to make you want to run it more. So that's just my 2 cents. We haven't shot it yet. I'm excited to shoot it and to really put the barrel through its paces. I think I'm most excited for the barrel. But Glock Gen 5, that's my 2 cents. I have Glocks. I think I have like 15 Glocks. I do like them. I carried a 19 for years. But in my opinion, it's kind of fell short for releasing something like a Gen 5. But anyway, leave a comment. Let us know your opinion. Guys, click like, subscribe, check us out, leave a comment. We love to hear feedback.